TSS Fantasy. It's Commissioner Cooper, and it's time.
How the fuck you got me up this damn early, Jason?
It's time.
Yeah! Oh my God.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's Commissioner Cooper, and it's time for TSS Fantasy.
Again, yeah!
Full disclosure, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is our first time streaming. So obviously, Freddie is feeling himself tonight. All right, so let's start with our introductions. Let's welcome to the studio, Greg OJ, the Juice is Loose Mayor.
Hey fellas, how you guys doing tonight? Family, TSS family, follow me on Instagram, Greg_OJ and Big OJ1 on Twitter. Freddie, this one is for you.
And let's, since we're going there, let's go to the Jester, Fred the Jester Reyes. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you, everybody on Twitter. I hit 2,300 followers today because you guys follow me at TSS Jester. Greg, clink. There you go.
And Nick, you got Flandered Macaronis.
Hello and welcome. Thank you. Yes, you can find me at You Got Flandered, now spelled with a PH, representing my Philly peeps at Twitter. And I don't want to throw on a somber note, but I would be remiss if I did not. I hope everyone that's being affected by the hurricane down in Louisiana, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, we can't offer you much, but I hope at least we can offer you an hour of joy to take your mind off of your troubles. And I hope that you and yours did not fare too terribly. And I hope that you get back on your feet very, very soon.
Certainly do agree. Sentiments all the way around. We all are family. We all are thinking of you. However, I don't think anyone in Louisiana is listening to us. All right, so we are the fantasy show of the people, and we do mean that. So as a reminder, please interact with us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all of the good stuff, and TSSfantasy.com. Sign up for It's Too Late. All of our big contests that we have for you. Trust me, like I said, we love money and we will keep it. So please come join us if you don't want us to do that. TSSfantasy.com. Sign up before it's too late. Week 1 is about to begin. Let's start my contest, the top 10 running back challenge. I need your top 10 running backs. Half PPR scoring will apply. Top 10 will get 2 tickets to the Miami Dolphins New York Jets game with the TSS crew.
Well, if you want to avoid that stinker of a game, you should join my premier contest. It's the Ultimate Team Challenge, sponsored by Vision Coaching and Consulting. You can win my $300. All you got to do is just send in your best lineup and win my $300. And remember, don't forget, my Miami fans, if you win and you can prove that you're from Miami, I will bump it up to 305.
Woo, 305. Yeah, Fred, you missed out on they've upped you a little bit. So you missed out on that. Your 301 is now nothing. Greg, what contest you got?
I just want Nick to get his numbers right when he put them away. But you don't care about Knicks. You don't care about Coops. What you want is to dive into the pool, the pick'em pool, the Juice World pick'em pool, try to beat the experts at our game and get $300. That's right, $307. Not 300, not 305, 307.
What? Wow. So Fred, that one doesn't seem to be much anymore. Let's talk about
So you guys all can join the Jester's Survivor Pool, where the winner will get the Jester's ransom of $325.
There we go.
Ooh, well, listen.
So Join the fun, folks.
For those not only listening on the podcast, the Jester is making it rain up in here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so I wanted to talk just real quick about, since I mentioned it before, we are now streaming live. So our new schedule will be coming out next week. We'll be doing weekly shows. All of these shows you can see on our YouTube channel, or you can obviously go to our podcast channel, or again, we're on Unhinged Radio every morning at 8 a.m. So you can always listen to us there as well. So just want to give you a heads up. If you are listening to us on the podcast, you can see our pretty faces here and now. Also, talk about some merchandise. We finally got some merch. We got, I believe it was like, we got tumblers, we got coffee mugs, we got sweatshirts, we got towels, we got tank tops. If you can find TSS Fantasy merch anywhere else, wear it. You get extra points if anyone knows what movie that's from. All right, so let's also real quick talk about this weekend. Let's open it up for discussion. Remember we talked about this the first show? I haven't seen any advertisement for it, and I'm really like just a strew why. This weekend was made for fantasy drafts. So for those of you who sent questions about drafts you've already done, why? You should ask your commissioner, what are you doing? Makes no sense. All the preseason games have now been done. All the injuries are done. Now you can select your teams correctly. And look, we have a holiday weekend coming up. How does it not bless? How does it not set up any better? So again, I don't know where the advertisement in, but any big thoughts, Greg, on opening fantasy football weekend?
Man, I'm excited. It's Labor Day weekend. I got a 3-day weekend. Our draft is Saturday. It's going to be a party. I can't wait to see all the fellas. And we just had our other draft this past week, but man, ain't nothing like our draft. So I'm excited. Like, football is right there. I can't wait to set my first lineup for week 1. Let's go. I'm excited.
Fred, any thoughts on draft weekend?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Why would you do it before the last game of the season? It makes no sense. People get hurt all the time. I think I got like 4 drafts in the next 6 days. It's the best time of the year. I'm excited.
Mr. Flanders. And by the way, for those are watching on YouTube, yes, I have the windows on incorrectly. My bad. All right, go ahead, Mr. Flanders.
Oh, thank you. Now, as Greg and Freddie has stated, we enjoy our draft because that's basically the one time a year where we actually do see each other, and it's a good time. It's literally like Christmas and Thanksgiving and 4th of July all rolled into one. We got a lot of food. We got plenty of gifts, and believe me, if you stick around late enough, you will see some fireworks. So, so it is a great time. I love the draft. It is a holiday unto itself.
Dr. Miller, I would just like to welcome you to Fantasy Football Draft Weekend. You got indoctrinated actually last night, yes, so that's cool. That's cool stuff, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I hope you're going to enjoy all the fun festivities this weekend.
It was a successful first draft for me because I ended up taking Kyle Pitts home. So big win for Team.
Nice. Got the target he was looking for indeed. All right. Well, again, we are all excited. It is the big celebration weekend. And yeah, like you guys mentioned, and Nick mentioned it probably perfectly. It's like all the holidays rolled into one. You get to see all your friends and family again, get to hang out, have a good time. We always put a big show on, so that's always good fun. As Nick mentioned, the fireworks, of course. I mean, that's like last year. Hell, that happened before the draft started. So, so you never know what you're going to find. We're going to start tonight, however, with a quick house call from Dr. Miller, and I have some new intro music, although it doesn't last very long. So here we go.
The doctor is in now.
Coop, you froze for a minute, bro.
Yeah, you did.
The doctor is in now.
That was quick.
That's kind of a disappointment. I didn't even hear my own intro music.
Fred, why are you frozen?
No, he's not frozen.
Oh,
He's just
We're
like this.
back. All right. All right. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Well, again, we're working with the technical difficulties. Dr. Miller, welcome into the studio. I believe we just want to talk real briefly about a chip, as they put it, in Trey Lance's finger. So let's give a quick talk about that.
Real quick, let's do finger anatomy first, because all we know is that there's a chip, according to Coach Kyle Shanahan, somewhere in the right index finger of his throwing hand. So a lot of anatomy with the hand. We've got 4 bones it could be, just based on them saying right index finger. Might be this tip bone right there. That's called the distal phalanx. The middle finger bone is the middle phalanx. And the finger bone right by the knuckle is the proximal phalanx. If we move into the actual hand, still part of the index finger, but within the hand here is the second metacarpal. So we've got 4 bones that it could potentially be based on the description of right index finger alone. And I've looked for an indication as to which one exactly it is, and I haven't found anybody who's diagnosed which of those 4 bones it is, and maybe more importantly, if it's affected any of those 3 joint spaces. So not a lot of information. What I do suspect is that Kyle Shanahan's description of a chip may be slightly exaggerated, because a chip generally would mean a avulsion fracture, where the bone is broken off and parts of the tendon or ligament that attaches onto the bone comes with it. That's a lot more significant than missing a week or 2 of practice. So I suspect maybe chip was not the best description. Might have a little hairline fracture in there. They're saying he may be back as early as Monday. So it's about all I have on him at the moment.
Yeah, it's just interesting that it's in his throwing hand. So that's why it kind of piqued my radar to throw at you, like, is this something that could affect him? And then I did like the description of chipped. So that's why I wanted to send that to you, just to see what you thought about that.
Yeah, it's not the most medical description, but I guess if we're looking at the coach for the diagnosis, that might not be the best way to get a medical diagnosis. He's paid to coach football, not treat injuries.
Right. And again, it's funny, you mentioned way in the beginning about running quarterbacks and when and how they get hurt. And again, this was on a throwing play. So it's funny how you brought the research in, and it's showing out to be true, ironically
I appreciate
enough.
you citing the research. I'm glad somebody read it.
Yeah, I won't say I read it. I'll say Mary Jane read it, and then maybe kind of filled me in on a little bit of it. But no, just kidding. All right. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to start talking about some of the fan email that we got in. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this.
Hey, football fans, it's
hopefully it doesn't mess
from TSS Fantasy. We are the fantasy show of the people. As such, we want to take 2 of our listeners to see the Miami Dolphins play the New York Jets in Week 15 with us. All you have to do is visit tssfantasy.com and enter it to Commissioner Cooper's Top 10 Running Back Challenge. Send us who your top 10 running backs will be by the start of the season, and the person with the most points will win. It's simple and free. You can listen to us anywhere you podcast and Unhinged Radio at 8 a.m. TSS Fantasy, the fantasy show of the people.
All right, so as we get back, let's talk about Cam Newton. What a big story that was. Wow, that just came out of nowhere. So Cam Newton, not even the second string, not the third string. You are gone, my friend. What are your thoughts, guys? Let's go with initial reaction at first to what had happened, and what are your thoughts on everything you've heard so far, since we have some time to digest it. Greg, what are your thoughts?
Well, first, I just want to state how focused and Freddie and Nick was when the doctor was explaining the chip in the hand. You have to look at the footage.
I know. It's nice. It's nice to see them.
They're so focused. But back to Cam, I was shocked. I really thought Cam was going to be the opening day starter for the Patriots. So I was really, really shocked that it was going in that direction with Mac Jones. But, from listening to all the sports shows and the experts and everything, it's like they wanted to just get started with it. Why wait? Why delay it? Let's go right ahead. Let's get them just thrown right to the fire. And out of respect for Cam, Cam doesn't want to be a backup. So let him go, see if he can go somewhere where he can be a starter. But I was shocked, man. I'm a big Cam Newton fan, so it's like, wow, I was shocked.
Fred, what are your thoughts?
I was shocked as well. When I read it initially, I was like, "Oh my God! Like, how did this happen?" It wasn't like he was thoroughly outplayed by Mac Jones. Maybe that thing with the COVID had a little bit to do with it. That's what I think. By him going outside the protocol, but I'm truly shocked. And I think if they were going to let him go, they should let him do it a couple of weeks earlier, where he could have maybe latched onto a job and fought for a starting role.
Yeah, I actually really agree with that. Nick, your thoughts?
Yeah, initially I was floored. Oh, and Greg, just to respond to being that I was focused because I am an anatomy teacher, so I was boning up on my knowledge for my next upcoming lesson on the skeletal system here in about 2 weeks. But yeah, Greg, I got you. So anyway, no, it was puzzling. It's like what Freddie said. How do you go from projected starter to not being really outplayed by a rookie to see you later? And then I read the article. Well, they said that Belichick gave him a courtesy. You can read what you want, but you got to read between the lines here. When your headache level out is higher than your talent, that's when you got to go. Like in any industry, whether it's sales, whether it's whatever. Okay, if your problems are more than what your production is, you have to go. And the COVID did have a factor into it. And then I was listening to another show, and Belichick in one of his comments says, Mac comes in and does things the way we want it done. And if that wasn't a telling statement, I don't know what is, because, Cam just being Cam. Well, Cam just got canned. So he could there are several teams that could take him. I think Dallas, even though they just picked up Will Grier, Dallas should pick him up just because of his Dak's injury. But there's at least 5 or 6 teams where he could come in, fit in, and then if the starter goes down, just roll right in.
All right, we're going to get to that in a minute, Nick. You're skipping ahead, but I will say tonight you are very humorous, I will say. All right, so let's go. Where does that put Mac Jones now for you in your rankings? That's what we really want to get to. Fred, we're going to start with you, since you probably don't know. Fred, where does that put Mac Jones right on the spot in your rankings?
Well, I know I put up the rankings day before yesterday, right before this happened, and I think I had Mac Jones in the mid-30s. Well, obviously it pushes him in the top, into the low, about 26. I'm going to redo it because he's a starter now. So once he became a starter, and he's better than I still think he's better than a few starters out there, Andy Dalton. So I'm gonna put him about 28.
Nick, where you got him?
I had him initially outside my top 40 because, again, I mean, he looked good. He's an Alabama quarterback. But then again, he's a rookie. We don't know what you're going to get. Hell, we don't know what we're going to get out of Trevor Lawrence, for that matter, once the real show, because everyone's playing their vanilla defense. They're not putting their stars out there. They're putting their second and third stringers out there. So just because he's a starter, I did give him the nod. He's playing in a very highly developed system, so I have him up to number 30.
Greg, where you got him?
Well, initially I didn't have him in my top 32. So with Cam now, Cam of course probably comes off of the ranking. So, and I have Cam at 20. So everybody shifts up. Mac shifts up. He's a starting quarterback. I got him at 32.
Nice. I put him 23, and because again, I always used to say it was a system with Brady. Obviously, it wasn't just the system, but it is a good system because remember, if you guys remember, even Matt Castle stepped in for him. I think they went. I can't remember the exact record. They might have went 12-4, 11-5. They had a good year. I believe they still missed the playoffs. But so again, the system is set up well. I think Mac Jones is, of all quarterbacks, set up to do well. You know, Alabama is a very NFL style offense, so he's set up well to start, and I think that's why he went ahead. It's interesting you brought the COVID up. I mean, we might get to that a little later in the show, but it's a very interesting topic because, you know, you're looking at, especially at the quarterback position, they have to rely on you. So people like Kirk Cousins and Carson Wentz, you know, again, that's going to be a question mark going out the season, but you know, we'll get that. We can get to that some other time. But for as far as Mac Jones, I do like his prospects. You know, again, I don't know if it wouldn't be a QB1 for me, but you can definitely get him for your backup, and you never know what you might get out of him. So other than Mac and Cheese obviously going up, anyone on the Patriots that you're looking at that you think is a stock up? And Greg, we'll start with you since you got the eyebrows up.
Listen, this is going to remind a lot of people of the first championship New England had. It's going to be run heavy, right? They're not going to risk putting Mac Jones in situations that's going to hurt him. They don't want to make him drop back 50 times a game, right? They want to control the ball. They have a good defensive squad. Let the defense win the games. Mac Jones just manage the games. So who stocks that goes up for? It goes up for Damian Harris, Hunter Henry, and Jonnu Smith. So the two tight ends and the running back stock is going to go up. What's a quarterback's best friend? The run game and his tight ends.
Sure. Nick, what do you got?
Well, on that note, excuse me, I think Mac Jones should be happy that his coach is not Zach Taylor because he doesn't want to get Joe Burrowed. So again, yeah, I mean, I have to agree with Greg. Tight end, running game. Watch out for. I'm gonna keep putting him up there. Ramondre Stevenson. He is like a junior Damian Harris. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they manage that offense. But basically, Max just got to do whatever Bill tells him, and everything should work out fine.
Do whatever the Bill tells you. All right, what do you got, Fred? On what do you think?
Wait. I hear everybody talk about Damian Harris now, so I got to pop myself on the back. Because about six shows ago, I was talking about Damian Harris in the AFC East, and everybody was like, "No." Well, guess what? He will be the best running back in the AFC East now, and I told you this. So it's for him. It's a blessing that Cam Newton is no longer there because now his usage is going to be double, maybe triple.
That's very interesting. Although I have to say I'm a little more interested in and Nick and his Zach Taylor like infatuation. Like every week he's got something for this guy. Like, I don't know what doesn't he? He's just so mad. He really does. I don't know what Zach Taylor. I don't know what you've done, sir, but man, you've pissed this guy off. All right, so I actually skipped ahead a little. I skipped ahead of just a bit. And we started talking about the vaccination. It was something that Urban Meyer brought up. You know, and let's face it, he was just being real about it. He said, listen, the COVID vaccination took part in us determining who was going to be on this team and who's not. I'm not mad at him for it, to be quite frank. But Dr. Miller, we have you on. Just want to throw your opinion in on this. What's your opinion on what Urban Meyer said? And, you know, like I said, I mentioned, especially in the QB position, like Kirk Cousins and Carson Wentz, how important it is for them to be vaccinated.
Yeah, I want to ask a question about this. I heard that in college football at the moment, if you can't field a team because of COVID, that you're going to end up forfeiting. Does the NFL have a policy here with regard to the number of players on a team that can be put on the disabled list with COVID?
I don't know the exact amount, but what I do know is that they did come out and say is if you have like a COVID breakout per se, and it's because of unvaccinated players, then you will take the L for it. So,
you know, when you consider that, then Urban Meyer's on point here. He's coaching that team properly, coaching that team to win. If he's considering all factors, including vaccination status, in the decision on who his roster is going to be. I applaud
Agreed.
that.
Yeah, agreed. Greg, got any thoughts on that?
Man, I'm so torn on this situation because at the end of the day, you know, you got to win, right? You're coaching to win, and it's a business, right? Football at the end of the day is a business. So you're gonna lose money. You don't want to lose games. You got stadiums and, you know, TV contracts. So it's a business. So you got to field your team, and you want to put a good product on the field. But at the same time, you know, I respect, you know, your choice. Like, if you don't want to get vaccinated, that's your choice. I mean, I'm vaccinated, but if you don't want to do it, if you choose to get COVID and get sick and whatever, that's your business. That nothing to me. So it's like, I'm so torn. Like, you shouldn't lose your job because you're not vaccinated. But at the end of the day, it's a business. So if you want to keep your job, get vaccinated.
So, Fred, I'm gonna kick it to you, but real quick, I just want to say this on that point. If you're an individual person, me, you guys, it's your choice. Do what you want. But when you affect other people, and actually COVID does affect other people, so I don't want to dismiss it that way. But when you're affecting, not only do you affect your team, but you affect the people who work in that building. You affect the guy who gets the popcorn, because you might even have a game that week. So to me, it's the ultimate selfish play not to get vaccinated. To me, it just doesn't make sense. My bad. Jester, you're up, my friend.
I had this conversation 2 days ago at my parents' house. We were talking about, somebody was saying it's my right not to get vaccinated, and I was like, "You're correct. It is. But it's also your right not to work for me if I own a business. It's my right to get rid of you." So if I'm Urban Meyer and I have a brand new quarterback, I got season ticket holders buying by the droves. They spending lots of money. I got to do what's right for my team and for the guy who owns the team. Right. So if my decision is, if I have to cut you because you're going to affect the rest of my team, it's my business. I got it from the boss, and that's what I got to do.
Right.
Nick, I know you're a big vaccination guru. So what are your thoughts, sir? Which I already kind of know where they're going.
Yeah, well, number one, I'm happy to hear that Urban Liar actually came out and said the truth for one time. But, you know, it just, like everything that everyone said, it's a very, very selfish act to not only say you're going to affect your team. This is literally a life and death situation. Literally. I mean, you can wipe out your whole room. Okay. Now, there's some players, and I've heard it in conversations, and I've heard it on other programs, where there's some players, if it wasn't for their contract, they would be gone. All right. That they would move off these players.
Yeah.
Now, again, the NFL doesn't have to mandate. They don't have to say you have to be vaccinated, right? They don't have to say that. All they got to say is, look, you're not vaccinated. You don't use the facilities. You don't have team contact. You don't get paid. All right. Now, for all those players out there that say, well, I got to feed my family. Well, then you know what? Go get vaccinated. Do the right thing. You want to be a hero to these kids that you say you are. You want to stand up and be the man that you think you are. Get vaccinated. Put your politics aside. Okay. Put your pride aside. Get vaccinated. Keep your job. All right. And keep people healthy. The NBA just put out a big thing today where if you're unvaccinated, your locker is way far away from everybody else. You have to eat in your own section. You have to fly in your own section. And basically, you are basically more, for lack of better terms, you are a pariah. So, no, we're not making you get vaccinated, but we're going to make it very, very difficult for you to function in your workplace. That's the way it should be. Europe, you can't go anywhere. You can't go to the movies. You can't go to eat unless you have your vaccination card with you.
Greg, did you have one thing to close us out?
Yeah, because the thing is, I don't think it's a political thing, Nick. I don't think it's something like that. It's something Dr. Miller brought up earlier in my earlier episodes. You got to remember, the government did a lot of testing on a lot of African Americans back in the day, right?
That was wrong.
So, and if you see, the majority of the players are African Americans, so there's that being skeptical of getting the vaccination, and in some cases they bring it to the point where it just got approved by the FDA, one of them. So there's that what are you putting in my system? And I'm an athlete, right? I get paid to perform. What if later on in life, 2 years down the road, this vaccine affects me where I can't perform my job to feed my family, where it's still out there what the effects of this vaccine can be. So it's not really a political thing. It's more of like, how's it going to affect me? What is this that's really getting injected in my body? So I'm believing, like I said, I'm in the middle with a lot of it. I'm vaccinated, but it's like, it's very great.
I mean, we could go on all night, but one more quick thing.
Let me respond. I'll take 2 minutes. I'll take 2 minutes. All right.
How about 2 seconds? 2 seconds.
I think we're not going there, Freddie. Look, for a lot of them, it is political, and I do see your point, Greg. Was it 85% of the league is African American, and I can say that they could be skeptical because of what they did 50 years ago. I think it was the Tuskegee experiment. But then again, I would probably estimate that not all those players are chemists, and they don't know what steroids or other performance enhancing drugs they're putting in their body and what it's going to do affect them later on. So they're still taking those. So
Jason, but Nick, those are helping them perform. Those are helping them earn a contract. There's a difference of me putting a vaccine in my body that the unknown is still out there. That's all I'm saying. Those other things you're talking about help them to get paid. Like it helped Barry Bonds to be the home run king. It helps them to get that money. But at the end of the day,
you mean Hank Aaron?
But no, well, Hank Aaron. Okay, but at the end of the day, it's like, how is this going to affect me later down the road? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. We don't know.
Yeah, we can debate this all night.
Right, this could go on forever. Everyone's got legit points. Like everyone's got a legit point.
I was getting roasted through all of that.
All right, so let's take a quick break, and we'll come right back with some fan emails.
Hey, TSS family, it's your boy Greg OJ the Juice. Are you interested in trying to beat the boys at TSS? Well, here's your opportunity. Get ready to dive in and join us in our Pick'em Juice World Fantasy Pool. And the best part, it's free. Here's the chance to win some paper and beat the crew at TSS. Sign up now on our website at tssfantasy.com. See if you can swim with the big boys. TSS Fantasy, the fantasy show of the people.
An email. All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So it's starting to feel like a real fantasy podcast because we're getting fan emails for questions. So wow, we're getting official at some point. All right, so we're gonna start here with Adrian. All right, Adrian got a question about Jakobi Meyers, and he wanted to know, do you like Jakobi Meyers as a super sleeper? So, Greg, we'll start with you. What do you think?
I wouldn't call him a super sleeper, but he does have sleeper potential. But again, like I stated in the earlier segment, the Patriots are going to be run heavy. So if Jakobi can, beat his defender and play action passes and stuff like that, he may be a good bye week replacement. I'm not going to say he's going to be a wide receiver 1 or 2 or 3, but if you're looking for a wide receiver due to injuries and you need somebody to throw in your starting lineup, he'll be a good pickup.
Nick, what are your thoughts on Jakobi Meyers?
Agreed. The only thing that kind of scares me about Jakobi Meyers is that he plays for New England, and we've all been on the New England Kool-Aid hype train. I remember a guy named, what was his name? Jonas Gray scored 4 touchdowns one week, and then we never heard from him again. So, again, how Belichick runs the show up there. So if sometime during the week he takes them off, we may never hear from him again. But, again, if you need a streamer or a late-round flyer, I would definitely pick him up.
Fred, you like Jakobi Meyers?
Not at all. No, you know what it is? Everything that Greg said I think is spot on. And then you add a little bit of Nick. super sleeper. I wouldn't even mess with him. You can catch him on the waiver wire, or maybe fantasy relevancy. Not even 16 rounds. I'm picking him up.
All right, real quick fire, and I want you to go real quick with this one just to make it fun. Ready? CMC or Alvin Kamara. Ready? Fred, go.
Kamara.
And why?
Kamara. Touchdown machine.
Got him on the spot. All right.
Touchdown machine.
Even.
Come on, man.
That's so whack. Come on.
You got him going in.
Fine. You want me to go with one?
Yeah.
CMC.
All right, and why?
Why? Because I think he needs to be more relied on than in the offense, and I think he's got a better offensive line.
Greg?
CMC can catch it, run it, red zone beast.
Yeah, I'm going to go CMC too. I think I've talked about Kamara a few times. Again, he had a huge touchdown production last year. Game flow never dictates that always. So it's not to say he's going to score a lot this year. Plus, with Jameis Winston, some people say, well, that might open it up for him, which is true. But you're also going to see Jameson fling it down the field more versus dumping it off to Kamara. So I like CMC more. I can see Sam Darnold dumping off to CMC a lot more. Let's go to another question. A friend named Frank on the show, and we brought this question up earlier when we were talking about the having the draft too early. So he had a draft too early. He basically had J.K. Dobbins. He had a few people that got injured. So him and a few people in his league were requesting that the commissioner do a redraft prior to the start of the season. Nick, let's go to you. What is your thoughts on a redraft?
I almost say you have to. I think it's a waste of time to do it early because, again, all these players are getting hurt. I don't know why he drafted early. Maybe a scheduling conflict, but a redraft. That's gonna waste a lot of time. At this point, you just might have to suck it up, and then next year say, "Oh no, we're gonna draft the third week of the preseason."
Fred, what are your thoughts on a redraft?
I hate it. I don't like it. It's never fair. You messed up, commissioner, by doing it like that. Find a new commissioner, not a redraft. He messed up.
You done messed up, Ron.
Greg, what are your thoughts on that?
I blame it on the owner. Why you drafting J.K. Dobbins? Like, that's your fault.
That's messed up.
No, the reason why it's like last year I drafted Saquon Barkley. What, number 2 or number 3 in our league? And what about when it went to Jason? Jason, look, he's out for the season. We need to do a redraft. No, it's the luck of the draw. Done. That's it. You finished. That's on you. You drafted him.
Right. That was to the point I said earlier, again, talk to your commissioner. Why would you have a draft prior to these preseason games, though? It just really literally makes no sense. All right, real quick, talk about something that doesn't make sense to me. And, all these things are brought up, different strategies every year, this, that, and the other thing. One of the new strategies right now that's going around is the 0 running back strategy. I don't know if you've heard about this, but it's basically like, they go out in the first round, they're going after receivers and quarterbacks and tight ends and getting some later running backs later on, thinking that that's going to build their team up. So I don't know if you've heard about this, but I wanted to know your thoughts on it. We'll go to the Jester first. What are your thoughts on it?
This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Football is made through defense and running game. How do you not draft a 0 running back strategy? I don't want to talk about it. It's dumb.
Coop froze.
Yeah, Greg. Go ahead, Greg. To you.
You sure?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm the co-host.
Coop, you there?
No, you're co-host. What do you think about the 0 running back strategy, Greg?
Wait, we'll wait to make sure Coop is back on.
But people are watching us, man. We live.
Greg? I know. Can you hear me? I said, Greg?
I hear you now.
Just keep going. If I go out, just keep going, bro. Y'all know what's up.
Listen, it's not the smartest strategy in the world to go with 0 running backs. It's not a lot of depth at running back, so it doesn't make sense to me to say let's go receiver heavy. Even in PPR doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't, because even if you have a running back that's decent with catching the ball, he's still going to get you some extra points. So 0 running back, I never liked it. AJ, this is for you. You changed your strategy and won a championship. That's all I'm going to say.
You did. Yes, you did. Nick, your thoughts, sir?
The only way I could see that you would do this, honestly, and try and be effective is if you're at the tail end of the draft and there's no quality backs that you want, and you're going to hope and pray that you can get a trade. That, I mean, other than that, and even that's a hope and a prayer. I mean, like, let's say if Greg got a back that I really wanted, and I knew that he really wanted a receiver, and then after pitching the trade, Greg goes, you know what? I would love to have that guy, but I can't do it. Well, then you're left holding the bag. You're screwed. So no, I would take a back or a couple, at least C grade backs that have 0 backs.
Yeah, agreed. Again, we're going to talk about that in a second, because we're going to look. We did a draft with another podcast last night, all of us actually, and we're going to take a look at that real quick. And that's something that's every draft I've done so far. It literally, and once you get past a certain point, it's like, man, you are just out there with nothing. So I don't understand the strategy at all. You'll see with my strategy, I use pretty much every time. It's running back all day. I am getting the meat and core for my lineup. All right, so let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We're going to look at that draft, and we're going to talk about those teams.
Hello, this is Freddie the Jester from the TSS Fantasy Crew, and I'm here to invite you clowns to my survival pool contest, where the last man standing will be the king of the court. What better way to kick off the holiday season by joining my contest and winning the Jester's ransom? Go on to our website at tssfantasy.com to join our slew of contests, and remember, we are TSS Fantasy, and we are the fantasy show of the people.
All right. Sorry, I'm a little delayed with the banner, and again, you have to work with me here on new stuff. So I'm going to pull up real quick now. We're going to pull up the draft. So let me pull that up real quick. All right, so let's talk about this for a minute.
Someone's a bit salty.
All right, so
hate, man.
So I think what we'll do is, now I put up the grades so everyone knows my grades, and I'm just gonna quickly talk about Greg's team real quick. I gave it a C. I mean, it's not the best. The reason why, though, and to be fair, here's why. Saquon Barkley, we got questions on one. We also have Hilaire, who's also now I like Terry McLaurin. That's decent at receiver. And receiver, you got Jerry Jeudy. I like Adam Thielen, although he's getting old. We got Elijah Moore with a hope for the Jets on there. And I like Ryan Tannehill too. So there's some things to like. I just don't like your running backs, to be quite frank with you. And that to me is all that matters. So since I don't like them, that's why I got them as a C. I'm going to go to you, Greg. What do you think of my team?
Man, you a hater, bro. You a hater, man. Like, me and you basically got the same team. And for you to correct mine's a C, you know what? Because you're talking about the health. We're not drafting for 1 week. We're drafting for the entire season, right? So you gave your bill of health check on Saquon. Saquon is trending to play week 1. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is in one of the top offenses in the league. And David Montgomery, you say all the time, nothing better than a back that has nobody challenging him. He's not in the platoon. So I don't understand why you gave me a C. But your team, a B minus.
Let me say two things. One,
but I mean, for your team,
let me say two things. One, I just asked for your opinion on my team, not your opinion on my analysis of your team. And guess what? No one cares what I think, so it really doesn't really matter anyway. I don't know why you're getting so offended.
But you know what, Jason? Because you give your team a B-, it's kind of a stretch. Your number one wide receiver is Chase Claypool. That's a stretch.
That's right.
That's a stretch. It's a stretch. So B-, Shenault, McCallaway, you don't have a real number one on your team. So you should get a C.
I would give
Callaway actually will be a number one to begin the season, so that's where you're wrong. And we'll talk about that later, but I snagged him way late. People were slipping on that one. All right, Fred, let's have you grade Nick Macarenas' team.
Let's see, Mr. Flander. His running backs are okay. I've told you all season I've been saying I'm not in love with Jonathan Taylor. Antonio Gibson is good. Mike Evans and CeeDee Lamb I really like. I don't like his quarterback. I don't like Tom Brady at all. I just don't like it. I think there would have been better options. I just don't like Tom Brady. I personally would have gave him myself. You gave him a B-. I would have gave him a little bit better. I would have given him a B+. I do like Damian Harris a lot. So he got a nice little 3-headed monster with the running back. It's just Tom Brady that kills me. Just not feeling Tom Brady or the New England Patriots on defense.
All right, Nick, what do you think of the Jesters team?
I'd like to thank Freddie for that fair assessment. I do want to defend my Tom Brady pick. I did want.
You could have had Ryan Tannehill.
No. I did want to pair Dak with CD, but he was taken. So I paired Brady with Evans. The thing I don't like, I kind of like, and I don't like, just because I'm not sold on him, is Austin Eckler. I know he gets a lot of receptions out of the backfield, so this is great for PPR. I do not like Darrell Henderson. I'm sorry. Other than that, Sony Michel. I don't think he's that spectacular. But overall, I do like your team. Jason gave you a B+. I think that is appropriate. Although I know I'm going to defend you on this one. You did get caught up in some auto draft entanglement, and you picked Jalen Hurts. So I'm going to give you a pass on that, but overall, it's a decent team.
Wow. All right. So when we talk about decent, unfortunately, he had to go, but I was hoping he'd be here. Dr. Miller's team, boy, ladies and gentlemen, the doctor was definitely in last night on his A game. He got Ezekiel Elliott, Kyler Murray, Kyle Pitts, Chris Carson, Jamar Chase, Tyler Lockett. I mean, just goes on and on. Great job by Dr. Miller. Definitely been listening, doing his homework. I like his team a lot. That's why I gave it the A- grade.
Mm-hmm.
Now we did
say this. Let me say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
The first time we did a fantasy mock draft, I dogged him.
You
dogged
did.
him so bad. But like you said, he must have started studying or something, because Zeke, Kyler Murray, Pitts, Carson, they're solid. I mean, that's a solid running back tandem right there, man. And Kyler Murray is a winner. So, and then to get Tyler Lockett so late, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, I like that team.
Hey, Coop, did you see who he picked last?
Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers.
And he must have been listening to Greg on that Kansas City Chiefs defense.
Oh, he said he do us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's been listening for sure. Absolutely. Greg, what do you think of Dr. Miller's team?
Man, I think he did a great job. I mean, I text you while he was drafting. I think I text you right after the Chris Carson pick. And I was like, Dr. Miller team is lining up real good right now, because he got Zeke, he got Murray, he got Kyle Pitts. But what I really like what he did, I know we said stay away from this, this crazy backfield that they have, but he got David Johnson real low. And that, that can be a sneaky good play, not knowing what Houston's going to do with their offense. So David Johnson, if he can find a little bit in the tank, that may that's a sneaky good pick. And he got James Conner, which I like as well late, because Chase Edmonds is not a red zone running back, so who's going to get majority of the carries alongside Kyler Murray. So I like that pick as well. He did a real good job.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
Just remember one thing.
He did. Now,
the host is always right.
Craig, Nick, what are your thoughts? I know you're the big brown noser, but what's your thoughts on that?
On Dr. Miller's team?
Dr. Miller's team. Yep.
Well,
follow along.
I would give him an A-.
Okay, so exactly what I got.
Good job, Nick.
Host is always right. Host is always right.
This guy. All right, so it looks like now amongst our AFC South podcast crew, I would have to say this little Nas X to me, I think actually ended up with the best team overall. He starts out with Derrick Henry as his running back. He's got DK Metcalf, Calvin Ridley. This is PPR, by the way, and DJ Moore and Russell Wilson to go with his DK Metcalf. He's also got Robert Tonyan, a good tight end in there. Raheem Mostert could be good. A little weak in the running back position other than Derrick Henry, but I like the team overall. He's got Rams D to throw in there. Just a lot of good pieces all the way around. So I like that one the best. Is there a team for you guys that you're looking out there that you thought was better than what I picked? We'll go with Greg. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, looking around, just trying to glance real quick. I do like, is that Mr. Briggs?
Briggs.
Yeah, Mr. Briggs. He was on the show with us.
I like how he did the tandem, which a lot of people don't do. He got Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams from Green Bay, and he got Aaron Rodgers. So this guy may be a big Green Bay Packers fan, but you can't go wrong with you have the top 3 offensive weapons on that team. The only thing that I'll be scared of is bye weeks, and if they have a shitty game, what you're going to do. Because then that means Aaron Rodgers is having a bad game. That means Devontae's having a bad game. That means Aaron Jones is having a bad game. So that's a lot of risk, but I like that. And with Chase Edmonds as his back in the PPR, that is not bad. And I like Indianapolis coach defense that he got down there. But what I also like, and Freddie's going to like this, if you look way down at round 15, he picked the quarterback out of BYU, starting for the green and white, Mr. Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Taking a late flyer on Zach.
I you know what, Greg? I hate when people pick running back, quarterback from the same team. I just don't like it.
I know.
Oh no, man, no. That's a big no. I agree.
He got all 3. He got Aaron.
You got the receiver, running back. I think that bites you in the end. I don't think that's a championship team at all.
Never know though. Never know.
It's good. I mean, it's good when they're on, and it's horrible when they're off. So they're going to take an L when that team's off.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nick, anyone on this from the AFC South that you thought was outstanding?
No, I thought I had one, but then as I go down their roster, no, I think I don't want to pile on. I just think I think you covered it pretty well because what's this one team here? G. Gomez. He looks pretty good. He started off with Kelsey, then he went with Jacobs, Allen Cooper, and then you just go down the line, and then he goes back to back with Jameis Winston, and then Deshaun Watson. And I'm like, he might not have a quarterback by like week 6. So, and you gave him a C. So I think with those 2 missteps, that's a C. If he would have went better with a better quarterback, he could have had a B.
Man. Jason, he should have got my team's better than his team. We got the same.
I have to agree with Nick at this point.
That's some BS. His team is straight trash, bro.
Yeah, that's a D+.
Wow, man. He's giving me the same grade I got, bro. Like, you see what I'm saying, man? You work my contract with this, bro. Jason is a hater, man.
Greg, he just don't like you.
I think that's what it is, man.
This guy is still crying. He's still crying.
Yeah,
I rank his team.
And he's trash. It's all right. I see where I stand.
I gotta agree with you about them AFC South boys. That is definitely they got two of the worst teams in the whole draft on their side.
Here we go. The trash talk begins.
Between that team that Greg said and that dodging guy.
Here we go. The trash talking begins. ASL South podcast. You are on notice. All right, we're gonna take real quick. Hold on, real quick. Before we'll come back to you, Nick. When we come back, let's take a quick break. We'll come right back to you, and then we're gonna have a quick closing thought.
Hey, football fans. Do you think you got what it takes to win our money? This is Nick at You Got Flander from TSS Fantasy. Go to tssfantasy.com and enter our free contest. Go to Vision Coaching and Consulting Ultimate Team Challenge. Submit your ultimate fantasy lineup. There are no drops, there are no ads, and winner takes all. Half PPR scoring applies. All entries must be submitted by the kickoff of week 1 for your chance to win our $300. It's literally that easy. Enter today. And remember, we are the fantasy show of the people.
All right, Nick, what would you like to say before we close it out here?
Okay, I got two things. Number one, Greg, he got you. He knew exactly where to stir the pot, and you jumped right in because he needed some controversy, and he looked right at you, and he said, "That's my Huckleberry. That's what it is right there." And number two,
Huckleberry Greg.
For all of our TSS family fans, on my Twitter page at You Got Flandered, I put the link to our merchandise, and a shout out to Dolph Freaky. She liked the tweet. So hopefully, we can get her on the show and we can hear what she's got to say. And that's all I got, Greg. You've been had.
All right, so listen, we want to thank you, TSS family. Don't forget, you can catch all the fun at tssfantasy.com. We'd love to interact with you on social media. This is a big weekend, so I know you guys will have questions. Don't hesitate. We're on our Twitters. We're on our Facebooks. We're on all that. So if you have questions, send them in. We'll be happy to answer them for you. I know it's a lot of stress coming up this weekend. Also, as proud members of the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network, don't forget to check us out each morning on Unhinged Radio. It's at 8 a.m. Wake up with us and make us part of your morning commute. Oh, yeah, we are fun to wake up to, I assure you. All right, so we appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen, and we are out.
Do, do, do.